So you said,
Yeah,
am I going
high
to be playing 76 for you? And are we going to run that strat where the 76 goes through hell?
76 is going to go through hell, and you're probably going to be on Pharah. So we're probably going to do Far Mercy's soldiers and Winston Depot. So Dan, your job in this comp, you see me in front of the bus?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
What are
So
you?
your job in this comp is you're going to just pressure this high ground.
Okay.
You can drop your bubble if you absolutely have to, but you don't want to. Basically, you're going to wait until Ananke calls the Discord from bottom left. And as soon as Ananke calls that Discord, you just want to be playing up here and pressuring. And then you can drop if you have to. But you want to have this position, because what you can do here is you can just peek this corner, like just shoulder peek it, and see where they are. Then you can come and you can drop, and then you play your bubble here, and you dive on whoever's up here. Ideally, if you knock them down, that's perfect. But if not, that's fine. As long as you can keep this pressure on the high ground, and it's important that you live too. So if you need to jump out once you get your cooldown, if you can come back to high ground, like this right here is a pretty good spot to play, because it'll let D heal you, and it'll let it'll help Ananke and I take the control of this high ground, which is what our eventual goal is.
Can I ask a question for a second?
Yeah.
Should we be recording this so Sid can watch it back later?
I am recording.
Oh, good idea.
I'm recording right now.
That's a
Okay.
valid point. I
I
need to
can post
record.
it. Yep.
All right, sorry for interruption.
No, it's perfect.
Nah, that's a good point. Good point. So basically, you come from spawn. You want to come to here. Play this high ground. Zap some, peek some, figure out where people are. Then once the Discord comes, you jump and you execute.
And then over here if I need help.
Yeah, then onto the high ground when you need help. Ananke and I are gonna come through hell. Ananke is going to peek, Discord, and then come back, start charging a right click. If they dive on us, then we'll have a right click charge. I'll have a heal station down, and we have the Mega to play around. But we want to give space and not die. It's really important that Ananke and I don't die on the soldier and the Zen, because we're going to be a lot of our cleanup damage. And the Discord is kind of crucial for this working, so we have to keep that on there. Once we have the Discord in the initial pick, then Ananke and I can either start rotating top or keep playing from down here if we have the like space to. Like if we can play from right here and shoot on them, that's good, fine. If not, we want to keep rotating and eventually take this top right high ground.
So in situations where we can't take this lower ground, should we start from the high ground over there? Like we've done that in scrims a few times.
If we can't take the low ground, like if it doesn't work first push and we can't take the low ground, then we're gonna try and take the high ground and bait the counter dive. Like the other first point attack strat is you have you run a traditional dive, so either Genji Tracer or Genji Soldier or Soldier Tracer or whatever, and you bait the counter dive. So what you're doing is your tanks are gonna come around here, you stick to this wall to keep cover, then you come across and you stick to this wall to keep cover. And what you do is you kind of just peek and make it look like you're looking for a dive. Then when if they send tanks at your people top left, then you just counter dive them here and you just force them back in. You drop your bubble, you isolate the tanks, and then you counter dive that. If they don't send people up there and you get the soldier and the Zen on for free, then you have an easy dive from around that corner to the top right up here, onto whatever's up there. So then, you can put your bubble down, you can do all that, and you'll have the support of the Zen and the soldier, and you can still counter dive, it'll just come a little bit delayed. If people are playing, wow, good Winston mechanics, Seamus. If people are playing where Dan is, you don't have to chase them into this hallway, unless we're going through an execute where like I'm wrapping around into that hallway as Tracer. Like unless I come through this mini up into blue halls, you don't have to chase them in there. If I do come this way, then by all means chase them in there, we'll pincer them and we get like a free kill on whoever gets stuck in there.
Gotcha.
By the way, Dan, just as like a Winston mechanics thing, do you have jump on scroll wheel?
I do not. I have it on shift, which I should probably change that, right? Because
No, not your
right mouse
not
button,
your
right?
not your your like
Not your ability.
jump, your like spacebar jump.
actual
That
jump.
also bound. Yeah.
Spacebar, yeah.
Do you have it bound? Can you bind it secondly to mouse scroll wheel? Because what that enables, what that lets you do is you can jump, you land, and then you immediately bunny hop, and you keep your momentum from your jump to go even further.
What is it?
So like you jump and you
Yeah.
scroll as you hit the ground, and you bunny hop your jump, so you keep your momentum and you go further. You kind of see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let me find it real quick. But what's the difference from that being on middle mouse wheel and
Because it's more inputs per second, so it's a higher chance of
Okay.
getting it done.
Yeah.
Alright.
You don't have to worry about timing. You can just do it.
Okay.
As far as defense on this point, I think our pharmacy dive defense works really well because it's basically just like a better tracer soldier dive. Because Shadow can create a lot of space for himself and to keep our mercy alive, and then I'm pretty free to harass on tracer. The one weakness it has is that if we run the Zen with it, then the Zen is going to be really vulnerable to dives, and this is the dive point. Like that's why a lot of Overwatch League teams don't play Zen on this point, is just because he's so susceptible to those dives. So if you ever feel like you're not getting that value out of Zen on first point, then in the overtime we can either play an Ana or we can play a Lucio. Either is fine. But I think if we're not getting punished for it super hard, then we can run the Zen.
I mean, like, usually when I'm playing Zen, I've got Dig Up here peeling for me.
Okay.
And I feel like it's
As
a
long
good
as-
distraction. But yeah, so if it's really getting hard countered, I'll just switch
Probably Lucio instead of the Ana, because Lucio has the
to get there faster, yeah.
no, not even that, but just the area of effect ult.
Yeah.
But Ana can only buff one person. So I'd like to have that utility if we're changing out of Zen to have the same like.
Yeah,
That's fair. I
same
mean, it's
effect.
the same ult today, you know. So.
But yeah, as far as the defense goes, like I think our ideas of when to dive and counter dive on defense, Dan and Sig end up calling that more, and I don't think it's as good as for doing set executes as offense is. So I don't really have anything specific on this first point for that. I just think this is just the forever dive map, to be honest. And maybe on third point we can swap it up if we're like getting like snowballed or
Sounds good.
we're not snowballing.
Yeah, I agree.
Defiance, can you come top right with me?
Yes.
So if they're running like a Widow or something, and Shadow's like Pharah's not gonna work, and you are playing either Zen or Ana on this point, like if we're running Ana Lucio, this pillar right here that I'm spraying on and
Yep.
zapping is your best friend.
Yes.
Because you can stand right where you are, right where I am, and that'll give you a line of sight block to main, and it'll let you heal people top right and on the point.
Yep.
So use that as much as you can. The other thing that I want to tell you is, as Ana, try not to stay scoped for more than 3 shots. Like 3 like on cooldown
I got you.
shots.
Yep.
Because what that's going to do is that's going to mean that you're forced to be more mobile, and a standing still Ana is like the easiest thing in the world to one clip or whatever, especially if you're stuck scoped in. That
Do you know how to
also
do the
goes
quick
for
scope?
you,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I know how to do the quick scope. Yeah.
Is to like use this pillar as much as you can, unless you're playing so far back that you're going to retreat into the halls. But if you're retreating into the halls, you have to be playing with someone else. The other thing to consider is you can wrap up forward over here to the left, and then you still have the view on the point end of most of the top right, and you're not as susceptible to dives from over here.
Yeah.
But you're going to be vulnerable if they take that top right high ground.
For sure.
The thing about this too is if you're getting dove from up here, like Dan, if you can do that dive that I talked about from the top high ground and jump down.
Like this one? What?
And then you
Just to go up this way? What?
Where
Confused
you
what you want me
come-
to do.
from right here and dive on them here.
Okay, yeah.
If
I got
if the enemy Winston does like that,
Mhm.
nice dance, Shadow.
Thanks.
You can just come like this back, and as long as we know that we're expecting it, suddenly the Winston and D.Va have to go a lot further towards spawn to like away from their team and their support to do it. And like if you have a soldier with you, you might win that poke war if you're able to get back. Like with a few Lucio boops and like a sleep dart and stuff like that, And Dan, you should come get this Mega, by the way, before I kill you.
Yeah, I think I did that in one of the VODs. Oh,
You
don't
walk
kill him.
towards the Mega.
So so basically if I'm playing Ana, then I'm moving back here to kind of peel them away from the rest of the group and kind of pull back.
Yes.
So that way you guys can kind of clean up. And if I die, but you guys get a couple picks, then it may be worth it. But obviously I keep busy enough with a grenade and the sleep dart and stuff like that. So.
And if we're on Ana, if you're doing it on divers, that way he doesn't accidentally wake up those divers. Especially in this scenario, because if you cut that 2v1 to a 1v1, then, or a 2v2 to a 1v2, then like you're in great shape.
Yep. We'll do.
Dan, this is a losing fight. He has 2 Lucio healers.
So do I kill the Lucios?
No, we move on to the next point. Unless you have something else you want to say, Sokon.
No, I think we're good here.
Alright, so let's envision a scenario where they've pushed us all the way back to this spawn, because that has happened to us before. Let's go through what we could do to get out of here. We could go around back.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just all by default, just kind of peel out around the backside for sure.
We could also go wide if they're like really encroaching on us. But I think probably like this should be good enough by itself.
This should be good enough over here, yeah.
Yeah, you come over to the left, and then the first thing you want to do is you want to get your tanks to high ground. Because that's going to give your tanks an advantage on theirs. So you can like zap down on them, or, you know, Winston or D.Va shoot down on them. And that'll give you, you know, if they have like a hit scan up here, which like I love to go up here as a tracer or a soldier if we're camping this spawn. Your tanks are in a good position to like farm, to like poke that out, and then eventually you can drop on them as you make space and take less damage. But it's about your tanks. You have to like stay alive together and bring your tanks out from this attacking point onto that high ground to then like give yourself a tank advantage, poke down their tanks, and from then get yourself.
Okay. Come on, Sokon.
I didn't think I was gonna combo him that well. I expected him to jump at some point.
You know who throws Winstons?
Alright, so let's move around this corner. So, alright, so we got past that point. Pushing through green bus here.
This is a great spot for D.Va bombs. You can throw a D.Va bomb along this arc right here and drop it like right here, and it's really hard for them to deal with.
One other thing we could do if we're trying to get out of spawn and they're like keep crushing us is we could send a flanker like Sokon around back and try to get at their backline, force them to turn around for him so he could get space that way.
Yeah, or I can just move cart and they'll eventually have to come and deal with it.
That's true.
Yep.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't just fall off the edge, I jumped, huh? Crazy.
Tactically. Are there any other points that we tend to get stuck at along here?
I think third point more than anything else. I feel like we fight this pretty well. I think we do well with calling out targets and controlling the high ground when need be. I don't know. I don't feel as much the middle part is the tough part. I really think it's third point is more of our challenge. Getting stalled out there.
Yeah, I don't really have any set executes on third point, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like as long as we communicate well and we focus fire, we hold the high ground when necessary, I feel like we push through fine. I feel like this is basically the area where we get stalled the most. Obviously, they have the quicker spawns, and there's a lot of areas for them to be.
I think we just smart execute, try to split them off, like split their main tanks from their supports and their DPS.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna stop.
But again, I think it's on a like comp by comp basis.
Yeah.
So like whatever they're running, we can counter stuff like that.
Yeah.
We could try running a Widowmaker from up top here and trying to run a pick comp with that if we want to, but I don't know if we want to carry the dive over from first to last.
Yeah, I think the only downside with having the Widow here is she doesn't really have much place to go. I mean, she can play on the ground, but she doesn't have a lot of other great places to be.
Right here. right here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but outside of that, though, I'm saying.
Yeah, but that covers that, like both their spawns.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
not
for
about
sure.
their spawns. Like that's fine if it's an overtime like retake situation, but like if I'm playing Widow and the cart's like right on my spray, like right there, and I'm playing Widow and I'm right there, then like I'm getting no value. I'm too close. I'd be better off on McCree.
Yeah.
Wait, why would you go up? Why would you push up as Widow?
I wouldn't. I would play on this balcony, and if the cart's like right here,
He's saying it's a short range. He's saying if the
it's
cart's
a
there,
short sight line
and the fighting
unless
here is
it's
right
like
there.
overtime.
Yeah.
All right, that's what.
Short sight line unless it's overtime, and if it is overtime, soldier's gonna get there faster.
Oh,
Yep.
rude.
Tracer.
Have we ever considered, I don't know, like running something like a Reaper? Just in a scenario where like the cart is literally not moving, we just have one more point.
If they have if they're heavy with tanks, I have no problem with someone switching to Reaper. You know.
Not even if they're heavy with tank, but if they're like we saw earlier with Dallas and Shanghai, if they're like Roadhog, Orisa, they're really like solid.
Oh, and also like,
of course, it's a different meta.
push the cart. Like if the fight is on the cart, then I feel like just a Reaper like unloading into people might be a bit more pressure than a Widow, especially if there's lots of tanks.
Yeah, for sure. And as long as
Just
that means,
wondering because we've never really tried it before.
yeah, and as long as that means I get to switch to May, then that sounds fine.
Why?
May was so bad.
May's one of my favorite. May's one of my favorite heroes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were just talking about in the Dallas Shanghai game.
Yes, no, that as well too. I thought that was funny.
Once again, Dallas has shown their superiority against all other teams.
Glad to know we're not the worst team in the league. Only the second worst.
And the third worst.
By
Mayhem
one,
has
you're,
one. No,
you're
Mayhem
second.
has one.
You're second best by. I mean, you're second worst by one map.
Speaking
And
of
not even
map,
one map.
do
by
we
one
want to
point.
go to a different map here?
Sure.
Yeah, are we good here?
I feel
Yeah, I
like
think we're-
people are getting too antsy and trying to kill everybody.
Change the map.
Yeah.
Play the game.
So it's important
Oh.
that Dan is on the blue team here.
So Sokon doesn't kill him.
No, it's so that we're going to Anubis, so that this way we can get Dan onto the high ground.
I was
Oh, hold
slain
on. You
down
should-
in cold blood.
You should switch me there too, because I'm gonna be playing the May or the Lucio, right? We're gonna have both our tanks there.
Change maps.
I don't know if the strat is as good in this meta though.
It might not be. The strat might.
I think maybe we just run dive.
Are you pulling a boss and uprising on me, Sokon?
Now enter.
I'm just thinking about it, and like so much of it is enabled by Mercy.
Isn't our answer for every map we play to play time?
No, that's to play farm Mercy dive.
Yes. Yeah.
But also dive is just the best comp in the game.
We need the Lucio here, yeah. Yeet!
I didn't even realize you guys. Do you want to come back and spawn?
I suppose.
Yeah, Dan, you actually have to learn this rollout, by the way.
Yeah. Well, the last time we didn't
No,
have a
so
Lucio, so I couldn't do it.
You go the wrong way anyway.
And I went the right way, we just didn't have a
Follow,
Lucio.
no, you don't.
Do I
Watch,
need to be
follow
anything
me.
in particular or no?
No.
Nice.
Oh, what the heck? Oh, heck, I already hacked it up.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm talking about.
You should always be using this way to get to point though. It's faster.
I just fucking fell.
Really? You and Dan both. And now you use your ice wall.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Wow. So then you stay up there. I come back as Widow. Shadow comes back as Junkrat, and then we run that. But I honestly don't think that's good.
It might not be. We can test it on Thursday. Or tomorrow, rather.
Perhaps a new method.
I wonder if
Yeah.
I can hang the puppy off the edge up here.
Why would you do that?
Well, it's just a thinker.
Watch from afar.
You can.
Yeah.
It's
How do I do that?
how do you do what, Widow?
No, I managed to time my jump and blink wrong.
Also, I'm all for playing Doomfist now. Unless it's in a DM chateau, because that shit sucks.
It,
Mostly
I
because
did
there's like
it.
10 million Doomfists around.
I did it, guys. I got up here.
is there
Solid.
is
Ah,
there
an activity. I have to kill
Do we,
someone.
do we even want to play like this comp though? I guess SoCon brought that up when we can test it. Sorry, my mind's a little weird.
It happens. Dude.
what
How did
go ahead.
Like, is it still good
how
without the
did Effect
mercy?
get up there with the Doomfist?
Let me go swap and I'll show you.
I don't remember how he did it.
Where
It's
was
like-
he?
You stand on top of one of the statues, you shift,
Oh,
right
I
click
got
in
it.
midair, and then you E.
Where was he again?
From an attacking spawn.
Oh, I
From
missed
an
it.
attacking choke.
He got up to like the high ground up here?
You didn't watch the match?
I know which match was it.
Yes.
Fuel versus something. I don't remember. It wasn't a great match.
No.
I can't get on top of Anubis. I'm like making it to the ship, but I can't make it from the ship to Anubis. Well, forgot to jump first. Oh.
He just
Oh, so you use E to get extra momentum.
And then you can shift E up here. Or
Oh.
not shift E, you can punch an E.
I must
Damn,
reflect
Doomfist
upon
has
this.
crazy mobility.
he does.
I will protect the innocent.
Why do we have two Dumbfusts?
Because he was showing him how to get up there.
You literally didn't
Oh,
pay
yeah.
attention to a single thing we said. I'm about to be
Watching
removed for
the
inactivity.
puppy. I was
Same.
watching the puppy.
You can I'm out
You
front
gotta
if you
do
need to hit me.
damage.
Where? Oh,
I want to be Dumbfust now.
Anaki is probably gonna be kicked.
Well, I'm gonna try to get
Yeah.
to him. Okay.
restored.
I'm on the point right now. Well, thanks.
As
We
far
should
as
have put someone
attacking,
else on the other team.
yeah. As far as attacking this point goes, I'm curious if we run triple DPS, if it's good.
What DPS are you thinking about?
Like Tracer, Genji, Widow.
Back into the
So Sig on the Tracer, me on the Genji, and you on the Widow.
Yeah. Because, like, the damage would be really good, and having the Widow in general is good for just, like, clearing this point. I just think you probably want the D.Va to transition into second. I'm sorry, I could not. It's instinct.
Holy fucking Anki almost killed me. She's
I
in
see, I
there.
click, they die.
back in action.
Alright, I'm starting to. My mind is starting to devolve into this as a kill people fest, so I'm gonna sit in the corner here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot else to tell. Like we know the Widow strat, it hasn't really changed from last meta. Like, you know, we go to point eventually, without like eating a bunch of damage, ideally. And that sets up me with sightlines, so I can pressure down either hit scans or whatever. One thing I think we should start doing as dive is, you guys know where all the pro tanks hold, like on this top left area?
Mhm.
Yes.
Do that
Which top left area?
The one that we
as
hold
you're
on.
as you're defending up
Okay.
here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think we want to hold up there with people that aren't supports, and then our supports can either play further back top left or something like that. Like over here,
Oh.
where you can get discords and such. I also think we might run more Tracer Soldier this patch, but I don't know for sure yet. It also depends on how comfortable you are in Soldier Shadow.
I'm not
Because you're
Guess we'll find out during scrims.
Ah! Not a good
I thought I
tracer.
did pretty okay on Nimbunny when we went Tracer Soldier, but
Yeah.
that might have just been me.
No, I think it wasn't, like, it definitely wasn't bad, so it's just a matter of, like, getting it consistent. But I think it's not a bad look,
Oh boy.
because I think the Soldier can peel a lot for a Zen, and I think Zen and Lucio are really good.
Meteor strike.
I think that's really all I have for this point.
What's
I
next
don't know if
on our
anyone's-
list?
Second. Ilios is the control map. I think we're fine. I think our Ilios is decent. Like, just Winston, D.Va, Tracers, Pharah. Most of the time. Widow on that one point, and you know, live life. Specifically Gibraltar defense.
Yeah, we get snowballed really hard on defense.
Yes. So there's kind of two philosophies of defense on Gibraltar. It's either hyper aggression or like waiting till to engage. And I think our comp largely determines which of those we want to do. I think if we go full dive, you know, with like Zen Lucio or even Zen Anna, Tracer Genji, Winston D.Va, then I think we hold aggressively, like stop the payload, you know, as soon as we can, like when it's maybe right here. Thank you, Ananke.
Oh, I thought that was
Where-
the other shadow.
Where his body?
What?
do you mean the other
There's no.
shadow?
I thought it was the other shadow.
I thought you guys were both on the shadow account. Shit, my bad.
My name is Sokon. It's not even the shadow account.
Well, she placed your body where you were talking, so that worked.
Anyway,
I
either we
told you
stop the
she's a
cart there-
goddamn murderer.
Yeah, apparently. Either we stop the cart there early, or we like maybe poke from there and then we rotate early. And if
Yeah.
we rotate early, then I think we run like a soldier, maybe a tracer, maybe a Pharah. But the eventual goal is to have like a Zen and a soldier up here on glass by boxes.
Okay.
So that they're really hard to dive. They can do decent damage once the payload is at the corner or further, and then also provide support for our tanks while being difficult to get to. Because it's a really easy spot to counter dive. It has the cover on this blue box. It has cover in glass. You can retreat back in here. You can retreat back that way towards spawn. Like there's a lot of options for what you can do from this high ground. And then it also, like, as long as your tanks aren't going too far, like until you win the fight, like you never pressure beyond right here until you win the fight, and then you're just cleaning up kills.
I've seen matches on Gibraltar where they literally let them just push it at least until like the bottom of the pit. You know,
Yeah.
just like just it's just like all right, just whatever, like don't
It's
waste
a
our
server
time.
room defense. I'm
Yeah.
also really glad that our tank player is here paying attention to this, because this is like really important for him.
I
killed him. It was my bad. So why don't we just start in server room? Because I feel like all the times we try to rotate to server room, like one person gets taken from the high
That's my
ground,
eventual
and then
point, is that like either we have to commit to that aggressive attack, or we have to not.
Mhm.
Like there's no in between. There's either we commit to that and we either win the fight or we get snowballed through most of the rest of first, or we don't take that fight at all and we just play in the server.
I think we play server. I do.
I'm of the mind that I think server is better suited for our playstyle on this specific point, because I think it offers a lot more mid-range sight lines and it's a lot less of a attacker's advantage.
yeah, I'd like to try it just because I feel like every time we hold high ground, we get staggered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we do, because
I
we're
think,
really
like,
bad.
we
at
like,
we
stagger
don't,
all
high
we
ground.
don't communicate like when to drop down and stuff, or we do, but then
We do it
Let's
too
go
late.
up.
The problem is we do it when someone is already getting focused, or when they're close to getting a pick.
The problem though too with the way Gibraltar's designed here is like this spot here just isn't great, right? Like because once
No, it's
once
great
the
if you're really aggressive, though. That's the thing. You can
Yeah, we're
spawn
just-
camp people pretty decisively, but I feel like we wait for them to engage into us, which is wrong
yeah,
move here.
yeah we play a little bit more defensive on it. So And that's where I think just us playing in servers just... I mean, we're aggressive in other places. I don't know, for whatever reason, just in Gibraltar, like, it's not good. Plus, the spawn just feels like it's just right there. I don't know. Like, I never feel like this is ideal. I like it when I watch people wait in server room. Because once the thing's in the pit there, you can be shooting down. You have the height advantage there. I don't know. I just... and like Sogan was saying, you can hold back here on this Hangar 18 platform, the catwalk up there, and just do a lot of damage from there. So I just feel like you have the more defensive position when they're coming in than where you're holding out there in the open. So plus a little bit harder for Faras. I mean, granted, they can still shoot from out there, but once you get in here, you're kind of like losing your ability to fly up. So.
Justice reigns from above.
All right. Any other thoughts on this?
No, I think that pretty much covered it.
That was my main one, is that I think we need to either commit to a really aggressive defense or not commit at all to aggressive defense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
agree.
halfway with it.
Yeah. All right, so second point.
I think
one
the
thing that
problem
I
is,
also
like, we
think,
get staggered on second point, and then we never really take the high ground as effectively as we should.
yeah,
We
that's
don't
one thing I want to talk about is when we get split spawn like this. I think if you're a tank or whatever, go the fuck to cart. If you're a tank or a DPS, go the fuck to cart, and then maybe the rest of us can get out. If you're not gonna get out, know that you're not gonna get out and go to cart. Like, don't try and live. Don't think, oh, I can make this out. Don't be cocky about it. Just get the fuck to cart and die, and then we can reset.
Yep.
Like, we were really bad about this. Like, all of us. Like, oh, I can get this frag and live. Oh, I can get this kill and live. We're like really cocky about it, and it gets us killed and gets us staggered, and then we're like going into third point, and we're like, we need a pick to win this fight, or we just lose.
Yep.
Okay. How about we try not to kill each other for 5 minutes?
I had to kill Dan. It was revenge.
Hey, you killed me twice without provoking. Or actually, I did provoke you, but
Yeah, without
killed me
provoke.
twice. Okay.
I
you
was
know what
moderate.
trying to say.
I was provoked. It was a defensive maneuver.
Castle laws.
All right. So,
All right, so
main
on.
point, what I heard is don't stagger. Anything else for this point? Do I want to play high ground or do I want to play back?
We definitely want to play high ground. I think if we can hold high ground aggressively, especially with like a soldier and a Pharah, or like soldier tracer or whatever. Like, honestly, any comp, if you can hold shuttle and poke at the doors, with any sort of hit scan or mid-range projectile, like, you're in such good shape because your tanks can just drop and pressure as needed. Your supports are relatively safe, and you're really hard to get at. Like, if they're not diving you well and pressuring you well, then you just like win.
When we are, and we're talking about this is on attack, correct?
This is as defense.
As defense, sorry, defense. Okay. So, all right. All right. So holding high ground on defense. If we're playing offense, stay with the stay with the cart, so that way we can die there. Get it
I'm being
far as we can.
personally victimized here. Maybe we should go to the next map.
Well, we still have third
How about
point
we
here.
talk about third?
Let's go to third.
Still have 22 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend half an hour on every map.
Yeah, correct.
Maybe
That's
Yeah,
the plan.
it's not.
All right, so third point, are we making any changes to comps? We're sticking with our dive comp that we started with, or
We're sticking with our dive count that we started with. I might change to Widow if it's good, right? Like, if I die and the cart is almost there, I might swap to Widow because I can stand on this high ground with Widow if we have the space to control it. One thing that I've noticed, though, is that teams can be really good about holding us when we're having to push uphill right here. And I think part of what we have to do to combat that is recognize where their damage is coming from and use line of sight on it. If they're holding on top left on this bridge over here, where I'm firing shurikens at, sorry, Defiance,
No, you're fine.
our tanks need to stick to this wall. Dan?
Yes.
Dan, please.
I apologize.
Our tanks need to stick to this wall that I'm climbing on. because that's gonna prevent them from taking damage until you get to this corner. Then you can peek the corner, you hop back, you peek the corner, whatever, and then you execute your dive, right? If the damage is coming from top right, then you do the same thing on the opposite way. You hug this wall and even maybe come through those rooms if you have to, but you want to mitigate their sightlines as much as possible. Because if I'm a soldier and I'm up here spamming you, I can spam anywhere in the middle of the road pretty free. But if you guys are directly under me, I either have to like peek fully to where I'm gonna take a ton of damage and like mitigate my high ground and expose my soft underbelly, or I have to like move myself or otherwise compromise this position to damage. And that's the point of like using the line of sight on high ground, is like high ground's gonna give me advantage where I can poke from here and you guys can barely see me, right?
Yeah.
Like I can dodge hooks and I can dodge fire all day up here. But if you're using the line of sight and you're playing on these stairs more, then when you come up, you're suddenly on top of me and I don't have nearly as much time to react or as much time to like do anything on that. And I've noticed that we're kind of bad about that sometimes, especially our tanks and our supports are really bad about using line of sight on stuff on high grounds and other like mid-range damage sources.
All right, so we'll keep that in mind. I do
I feel
that.
like this point is kind of difficult to get to high ground for support, though. Or at
No,
least
you don't
for
want
Zen.
to play on the high ground. You want to hide from the high ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Or on attack.
you want to be playing as further back over here if they're up there, or further back on this left side if they're on the other one, high ground.
Yeah, like I'm usually here. Hello.
Or-
Back here.
I'm talking on attack.
Oh, on attack. It's a hard corner on attack.
So you want to be either playing like if they're top right, you want to be stuck to the wall over here, like on these stairs. If
Yeah.
they are holding top left on this bridge, you want to be stuck to this wall down here.
Mhm.
Because that's going to give you the best protection from the damage that's going to come from these high grounds, and that's going to be the biggest damage that's going to come on you, is like from a soldier. And then you're also not playing so far from your tanks that you're unable to be peeled for.
Gotcha.
And then if you have time as Zen to rotate to this high ground once we have the cart rolling, then that's pretty good. If we have the cart, you know, like at least under it, if not further. Because that'll help us to deal with OT spawns, because you can get free discords and everyone up here, and you know, a Zen and a soldier up here raining damage is like pretty scary.
And what's the fastest way? These right-hand stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right hand stairs are the only way as Zen, I think.
我感觉好多了。
Oh yeah, you can't get around the side.
Yeah.
This will stop them.
Who did this?
I didn't kill you though.
Moira is such a bullshit character with her damage. Like, I don't like the fact that Moira can 1v1 tracers. It's kind of gross.
I mean, the only support that can do it with relative ease.
Yeah.
Her tracking's just too simple.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it with a Zen and Ana, but you're definitely doing more work for sure.
It's more of a skill matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, look how easy that is. And now you already have to go for the health pack. Oh, wait.
Well, I'm also
Not
not a
away
good
from my
tracer.
No, it's not even, like, you being tracer or not. It's the fact that Moira can play at both long, medium, and short range.
You just, well, not really. Like her
If
Her
she
range
plays
is the
at
same
short
as
range,
the
she
range
gets
of Hook.
melted, though.
Wait,
Yeah.
sorry, you guys both spoke at the same time. Couldn't
her
hear.
range is the same as Hook.
Okay, but Hook is a cooldown, and her right click is her right click.
Yeah, but like that doesn't affect the range. I mean, Soldier has a longer fall off range than either of them.
No, it's
But
not
what
the
it
fact
is
that it
that
affects the
at
range.
close range she sucks because you can just out damage her with most other things.
It's not
Like
about,
if a
like...
good tracer clip at close range will usually win you that fight, especially if you have recall. But the other thing too is like it's not about being able to 1v1 them. It's about like you have to like as the DPS you now have to get a drop, which you don't have to do on a lot of the other supports. Like if you don't have to, you can take an even fight versus Zen and come out on top. Like,
It's not
90% of the
like...
time or something.
My complaint wasn't that she had the range, it was the fact that she can keep the range. Like, Hog only has that range once every... Was it 10 seconds?
Zen has no
8
fall off,
seconds.
neither does Anna.
It's 8 seconds.
Yeah, but even if you get away from that hook range, she can then throw an orb at you that just follows you to the end of the earth and slows down when it actually comes in contact with something, so it damages even more.
I don't think Moira's damage or range is the problem with her kit.
Is it how fast she gets ult?
It's her ult
definitely
speed
how
and
fast she
just
gets
raw
ult.
healing.
Alright, so holding tight on the walls whenever they're holding high ground. Try to take the high ground when we can. If we can get the Zen and 76 on the center catwalk here, that is ideal. And then obviously the end here is just usually a stall fest. So
Yeah, I think keeping focus fire on discords at the end is really, really important. So being vocal about our discords and following that discord. Or the discord following other people's target calls, but it has to be one of them.
one of the two. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, I think we are phenomenal at focus firing when we actually do it, and I think that's what wins this game. So.
Much better.
All right. Anything else on this map?
Not really.
I think so. Oh,
Controlling
if
our ground
they
second is like the biggest thing in the world.
also if they're trying to spawn camp one door, remember that we have another one. It takes longer to get to cart from that one, but it's still a different option besides just getting spammed in the face.
True.
Next map.
Okay. This next map is Oasis. I think that we know what we're doing on King of the Hill, to be honest. I don't think there's any set plays or specific high grounds you want to do or anything.
Yeah.
You guys are awful. Both of you.
I know Ananke wanted to do a VOD review. Do you want to do that like a team one, or do you want to do one-on-one?
Anything's fine. Do you have anything for a team VOD review though? I thought you just went
No.
through mine.
I have nothing prepared for any of them actually. I'm a bad.
I mean, to be fair, I don't mind getting roasted by the entire team. Pretty good
I don't know.
about that.
Does Shadow, are you in any state to like help people?
What do you mean?
Like helping
Have you-
deal with like positioning and mechanics or anything, or with Dan with anything?
Because if we're not in a thinking state, we might as well just like free for all or quick play or something.
Yeah, or we
Do
could
you-
split up and have some of us just playing and some of us like doing coaching. Because I'm more comfortable doing that one-on-one, to be honest.
Hmm.
All right. So Sokan, you want to do coaching with Ananke then?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And then.
Or I can talk with both of you on it, since we can do like Zen positioning specific stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, we can do that. So I guess the three of us will do that, and then Dan and Shadow can play
Quick play.
Tiddlywinks. So
Well, what exactly does that mean?
I
I don't
mean, you're welcome to stay for the VOD review.
you can Google it.
Support.
Just
I don't
type
even know
it.
if I'm gonna review VODs. I might just talk about like Zen playstyle things that I think are useful.
Do you want to join us for quick? You need to devote all your attention to it.
I definitely will need to devote attention to it. I'm probably gonna draw diagrams and shit.
Okay.
Ooh, some spicy general chat going on right now.
Did you do a search for Tiddlywinks? Make sure you turn off safe search.
I did not.
All right. So where do we want to do
Not
the?
enough time.
See if I care.